All right. We bike. You got a little jungle vibe going on today.
Mm-hmm. You know it. I'm trying to be out.
Trying to what?
Be out here.
I'm trying to be ra. Is that a new thing?
No, I
That's
just
crazy.
made it up right now. But it
I'm
was
trying to
a
be
little
ra.
ra.
It's a
You know,
very
the
it's like a
girls
vacation
have,
fit.
all the girls have their purrs, you know.
What's yours?
Don't make me sound like a cougar. No. What if I had like a little?
You don't know yours. You don't. You said all girls have them, and now you don't have one. Now you're trying to figure yours out. You sound like a talking cat. Meow. Meow.
Come get this.
Yeah, work on it. Work on your purr.
Yeah, I was really thinking about like rappers, like female rappers, versus just the average
like,
girl. I was
grah.
thinking, yeah,
That's not a purr. That's a
grah.
gun. That's a gun.
Yeah, but it's still purrish. It's purrish. That's Ice Spice. And then
Do you think she has a long one? Like,
I don't know, but Cardi B has a purr.
what? Ow. Meow. Meow.
I think Nicki has a purr.
You don't know none of them.
They all have purrs.
You don't know what none of them sound like.
I don't have to be able to recreate it to know it exists.
That's true. That's true. You just brought it up and had no examples. You didn't even have one yourself.
They all have they all purr. I thought you knew that. We be
I'm
hearing purrs in
unfamiliar
all
with
kind of songs.
The purrs of the female rappers, but I am familiar with building better habits. See how we're turning into
That's what you want.
we're turning into a crapshoot. Our podcast is either filth or self-help.
I'm proud of you because you usually gag at those.
Gag at what?
At positive threads or facts.
No, not really. I mean, I just did the whole snooze thing. You know, just.
No, I'm talking about when I'm like, all right, I'm going to help the people out. You're like, ah.
Oh, if it's friendly.
Yes.
I think if it's about building yourself up,
Oh,
it's great.
that's okay. Okay, so now I know the differentiation.
So here's my thick fact, and I hope it helps. It takes roughly 66 days for a new behavior to become a habit.
Damn, I thought it was 7.
I did too. I thought it was like 1 to 2 weeks, which explains why when I did something for 1 to 2 weeks and it didn't stick, I threw it away.
Damn.
I failed. You gotta put that bar a little bit further because over 2 months is I guess what it takes. It says habits are behaviors that are performed automatically because they have been performed frequently in the past. Mm-hmm. This repetition creates a mental association between the situation and the action, which means that when the cue is encountered, the cue is the situation. The cue is the situation, the action is the behavior. So it says the repetition creates a mental association between the situation, the cue, and action, the behavior, which means that when the cue, the situation, is encountered, the behavior is performed automatically. Automaticity?
Automatically?
No, it's automatic and ITY. Automaticity. I've never seen that. Automaticity has a number of components, one of which is lack of thought. So a study said that an average of 66 days was required to form a habit with a range between 18 and 254 days. Notably, these researchers found that skipping the behavior once didn't have a big impact on habit formation if participants picked up things afterwards. That's actually kind of big because sometimes you feel like if you miss it, you're done. Mm-hmm. But it's okay. It's okay to take a break.
Yeah. Okay.
2 months.
Come out here. 66 days.
2 months, which is crazy.
That's
like quadruple what I gave myself for stuff.
That's hell for people who require like, immediate results. Delayed gratification is like,
Man. Oh my God.
you know, like that's the killer of discipline.
It's
You know,
it really shows you like that, just kind of like, it's like the analogy of a water dripping doesn't really do it much, but then hundreds of years later it's like a giant hole, and it's just kind of like that thing that you do every day. This is totally random and kind of gross, but I vacuumed my bathroom the other day because I realized how much of my hair is everywhere. My little curls and stuff. And it'll be just like something small. Like I washed my hair the other day, so there was like hair everywhere, and that was a big amount that was added. But for the most part, it'd just be like going
it's so
in,
spread out. You don't
just one little curl a day at a time. But then it accumulated. I vacuumed up a little fro.
So when you went to open the little thing, it was just like, damn, it looked like a big fur ball. You didn't dump it.
I didn't dump it.
You didn't dump it.
Gotcha. It's still in there.
It's festering.
It wasn't. I mean, I was adding for comedic value, but I mean, it was a quick little vacuum, but it was still like, oh my God, like a little bit every day. Had a whole bunch of results, and I always, whenever I try to do something, I'll do it for like a week straight and feel like it should be ingrained in me. So 66 days is very eye-opening.
It's quite a lengthy time.
That means if I wanted a habit now,
every day,
nigga, June, Jesus, damn,
every day.
But they softened it by saying you can skip once and it doesn't have a huge impact. But it has an impact. They said big impact.
But you might feel it too. Like if you're going to the gym 30 days consecutively, when you can't make it one day because you're on set all day, you might feel that guilt of not going.
Oh, the guilt is going to be there.
But that's part of like building that routine to where you know that what you're doing is working and it's becoming ingrained in you. If you miss a day and you feel guilty for missing that day, that means like, okay, I got to make sure I get back to it and go hard again. But if you miss 2 days in a row, you are playing with fire.
Man, and it's just as hard to get back into it too, because I mean, like, things that should be. I remember when I first started streaming, it was like every stream was like a big deal. Like I had to, everything, blah 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 blah. And then when it became a habit, now it's just like sit down. I can just jump back in. I can just jump into it. Whereas there's things that like if I put down for too long, like DJing, I haven't touched it in months. But it's like it's really difficult to get back into because it's almost now a habit of not keeping up.
This is kind of along the same lines, but a little different. But I saw a post that was like, you did certain things for the last time and you didn't even realize it. Like you went outside to play with your friends for the last time and you never did it again. I wonder, like, some people like
went to the gym for the last time and didn't know it. That's what I'm saying. I've never seen that.
You think about it and it's been, 2 years since you've been to the gym and you're like, fuck, I need to like, but you never know when the last time you're doing something.
Well, I mean,
if it'll stop
because you can pick that back up. That's like
you can.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still like go and play with people. I guess there's so many. There's so many things to do. But
the reason why the last time ones hit hard is because it was a time thing. One time you went, like you said, to play with your friends outside, a sleepover. One was of the parachute. They said one time you your teacher folded that up, and that was the last time.
And you never knew when it was, or you went into that playroom with all the balls and everything, and yeah.
You never know it was the last time until you look back, which is very, very sad.
But I'm saying, like, people, I thought about it because it's like, if you compare it to this, you never know, like, when you're going to fall off of your habit. Like, you think, like, okay, I'm doing this. I could take a break. But you never know if that break is going to be the one to fuck up your entire routine. So, because people don't know when the last time something is unless it's like you're quitting your job or something. Like, oh, this is my last day of work. But outside of that, in your personal life, there are certain things that you do that you don't realize. Oh, shit. I haven't picked up a book in blah, blah, blah. I haven't, gone here in, forever. So I went to the mall. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I went to the mall for the first time in years. I hadn't been shopping at the mall.
Mhm.
And I didn't know when the last time it was going to be years before I went to the mall again. But
Mhm.
it was crazy to walk in a mall for me and be like, this is kind of insane to be walking in the mall. It's been
Blast from the
maybe
past.
4 years, 4 years since I've walked in a mall.
I mean, the mall for me right now it seems like it's just vibes
Mm-hmm.
because there's really
There was nobody in there.
there's really no reason. Everything is delivered straight to you,
Mhm.
you know, unless you just like the vibe of the mall
Mhm.
or the food court for whatever, you know. I just think that it's an old model.
Mhm.
But it made sense. It was just like a early version of a superstore, like all this
Mhm.
random stuff, one spot, you know. And now it's like Amazon.
Mhm. Mhm. You went to Blockbuster for the very last time.
Now that's the stuff that's scary.
Yeah.
Because that's not like a a young old thing. Well, I guess it kind of is if you remember it,
Mhm.
but it's not something you can return to because it's done.
Right.
It's over with, and that was a beautiful time. I hear they're trying to come back as like a nightclub.
Yeah, I'd go. I have to walk in. I want to walk into another Blockbuster.
That's not a video store. It's completely different.
Yeah, I just want to see what the
Get
vibe
turned
would
up.
be. Yeah.
Okay, say your fact. This conversation actually is going to inspire my thread for today.
Okay. Mine is it's a little mind blowing.
Okay.
So I kind of knew the answer to this already when I Googled it, but I just wanted to see what Google was going to say. Can you catch an STD, STI from an inanimate object? Yeah.
Wait. What do you mean by inanimate? Remember that dude who got worms from smashing the dead bodies?
Right. That's not an object, though. That's a person. Even though it's dead.
They used to
Still a
say that
person.
didn't they used to say that crabs were on you can get it from a toilet seat?
Mm-hmm.
But that was from
So-
another person though, huh?
If another person.
Somebody did
Yeah.
put that on there and then you got it from the object.
Right. So typically, I'll go into the fact. Typically, no. Generally, it's extremely unlikely to contract an STD from an inanimate object like a toilet seat or towel, as pathogens typically require direct contact with mucous membranes or blood to survive and spread.
Ew.
Now, yeah, so HIV, hepatitis B, hepatitis C can be transmitted by sharing needles or razors that have been contaminated with infected
I
blood.
forgot about the
Oral.
old needles.
Oral herpes can be transmitted through shared objects in some cases.
Hookah. That was the big
yes,
one.
through hard inanimate objects that have been
Hard.
infected. Yes, that have infected saliva on them, such as a cup, a toothbrush, or lipstick.
Oof.
Which brings me to my little story time.
You put on the wrong person's lipstick.
Shut your ass up.
That's a
No.
crazy way to get it.
A Texas janitor spread STDs by urinating in workers' water bottles,
Whoa.
and he got 6 years in prison.
That's
So,
it? Ain't that chemical
Lucio-
warfare?
Lucio Diaz, a 53-year-old janitor at a Houston medical practice, was sentenced to 6 years in prison after pleading guilty to aggravated assault for urinating in employees' water bottle, infecting 13 women with incurable STDs, including herpes, between 2021 and 2022, initially facing 11 counts of indecent assault and 4 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Diaz's plea deal reduced his charges. Victims expressed outrage at the perceived leniency of the sentence, with one noting lifelong health impacts.
Right.
Diaz, an undocumented immigrant, faces deportation after his sentence, which includes credit for over 2 years served pretrial. So it's really 4 years in prison moving forward, because he already did 2 years. The case sparked
Damn.
workplace safety concerns, and victims are pursuing a civil lawsuit against the building's manager.
So did they get it from the pee or the water bottle?
So
You could drink
I
pee
don't
and get
know.
herpes?
I guess if it's in the shedding phase.
Shedding
Maybe.
phase.
Yeah, so that's when it's the most contagious.
What
When
sheds?
It's the virus. You know, when COVID or whatever there's a period before the full-on symptoms
Sure.
show that you can be infected, and it's called like a shedding phase. And I guess it's contractable before symptoms fully bloom.
He must have hated his coworkers, or he just did
But
this
I
randomly.
I didn't know. I don't know if maybe he had like a lesion on his penis
Ugh.
and he put it in the bottle, and therefore it like got on the rim of it or whatnot, or if
A lesion.
the virus is actually active in urine. It didn't say.
He was at a
here,
medical
but-
facility. He could have got that looked at instead.
right?
That's nuts.
You-
And shaft.
What if he had it on his nuts and he just put his nuts around the water bottle? But
That's
to pee in
crazy.
people's water, like,
Were they not tasting
does
the
he
urine?
drink a lot of water or something? Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
It seemed like it would change the color and the taste. It would change the color and the taste. What a hater.
This is a horrible search. Can you catch herpes from urine? No, herpes cannot be transmitted through urine. So maybe.
He was rubbing. I mean,
Yeah,
he was already
he
peeing in
must
the water
have-
bottles. He was already sabotaging, so I'm
Right,
sure he
so-
was doing crazy stuff.
But to give it to 13 people, he knew, like, he was intentionally putting the lesions on the bottles. Because if it's not transmitted through urine, that's just another
He's
nasty
rubbing-
part of it.
Right. You drank my urine and I rubbed. Yeah.
But
that's
I
crazy.
wonder if he had anything else, because it said 13 women were infected with incurable STIs, including herpes.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't say the others
Right.
that are incurable. So it's really unfortunate that you go to work and you drink your water, and
Get the herp.
that's
And it's
crazy.
the janitor.
And
And
imagine
now you got to explain
before,
that
like,
to your partner.
exactly.
You're like, I didn't cheat. The janitor gave it to me. He peed in my water. You don't
But
believe
the
that?
thing is, right? The thing is, then you can end up passing it on to your partner. So then it's like
A spread.
spreading it to 13 people.
And getting 6 years for it is crazy.
Right, because those 13 people then can spread it unknowingly to 13 more.
That's like 26
you know?
lives ruined. And you got
Right.
6 years
So
in
now
prison.
it's like, a blooming flower is just spreading.
I don't know what the rules are for that, but that sounds like chemical warfare. I feel like that, because I mean, complications to that can lead to death sometimes.
Herpes?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Unless you got some other stuff going on, like, some other incurable diseases that
That's
are
what I'm saying.
pretty
Like, aren't
active,
there
but
some
in general,
STDs that on a surface level are, I guess, just annoying, but can't they?
herpes is one of those. That it's just. I think it's just like an annoying thing, but I've never heard of it being life-threatening outside of like pregnancy.
What about,
you're not
like,
supposed to catch it
How like
while
Benjamin
you're pregnant.
Franklin died from syphilis and stuff.
So syphilis is that's one of them ones that is crazy.
So I think
People
that
die from, but
people
I don't
who
think
knowingly spread that, it should be kind of like a more serious problem. Because aren't there like, I was just gonna say niggas in Atlanta. But the last story the last few stories was in Atlanta. I guess just dudes that know that they have something are just like smashing a whole bunch of girls raw for whatever that does for them. But
that OnlyFans dude.
yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
He had a lesion on his penis
I
at the
hate that
time
word.
of the video. I saw it while she was sucking him up.
A lesion's
He
a bump.
It's
Or
not
a
a
sore?
bump. It's more like a sore, like an open wound.
Is it the same word as like an army lesion? Is it spelled the same?
No, it's not spelled the same.
Okay, because one has a
One
G.
is legion and this is lesion
Okay.
with a S.
I'm a dumb. All right, I'm gonna fly through this thread. Get
Okay.
yours ready.
Okay.
Because we were talking about the good old days.
Okay.
What has gradually disappeared over the last 10 years without people really noticing?
Oh.
Number 1, coins on the sidewalk. I do not see. I don't be on the sidewalk, but I don't be
Right.
seeing money,
I haven't seen money in a long time.
and it's not the same excitement.
Inflation Like,
You pick up a quarter, you're like, what am I going to do with this? I got a coin slot in my wallet. This one's kind of interesting. Ownership. You pay a subscription. You can't fix what you own because it's proprietary. You can't buy outright. Our ownership of things has become a rental service where they can break or completely remove what we purchased without consent at any time because it was in the terms of service. That is pretty crazy. I mean, I was just talking about how fun it was to have CDs and stuff, even though it took forever to change and stuff. We actually got that music, and now it's like if you don't pay Spotify, you don't got that music.
Is CD, that stand for compact disc, right? Okay.
You thought it was because of the A side and the B side? Jesus Christ.
You're I was wondering.
Gullible. A side, B side. So the thing is a CD.
CD, dog.
It's crazy.
And the next thing will be EF.
Mid-career jobs. It's called the Great Flattening. I guess that people think that the middle class is slipping away. It says the good old 1% siphoning all of it into their dragon's hoard. So I'm assuming that that's just pushing the high class and the low class further apart, which is really sad. Small independent hardware stores. They used to be a small town staple, especially in the Midwest. Almost every one used to be the oldest building in town, being open since like 1895. Now they're all mostly gone, and your only alternative is a big box hardware store or ordering on Amazon.
Yep, I was about to say Walmart and Amazon came through and scooped everything up. That's why they be petitioning when they're going to open up a Walmart in a small city or something like that, or near a small city. All the like small business owners, they like petition so that they don't come.
Does that ever work?
Because I don't know. I don't know.
I'd be feeling like petitions just be like, I got 300,000 people to do this, and they're
signatures
like,
do. Cool. They count for some stuff. No, because you have to have like an additional piece of information connected to it, maybe a birthday, phone number.
But at the end of the day, it's like this many people want this. Can't they just say, go fuck yourself?
And a lot of petitions are electronic now too, so you have to put in your information.
That's a little bit better because I used to sign Daffy Duck. If somebody came up to me with
Daffy Duck is crazy. You get paid for that.
What?
Doing those petitions, like in signatures, you get paid for each signature.
24-hour businesses. COVID killed them, and it seems a lot of them aren't coming back. I remember 7-Eleven was used to be 24 hours, right?
It's not?
7-Elevens be closing, don't they?
They do?
I don't know. Your surprise is making me feel second
Well,
guess.
the thing is, I haven't been out in the middle of the night like that in a very long time. So
I'm tripping.
I don't know, but I'm not disputing it. I'm just like, I know that crazy.
A lot of liquor stores started getting closing at like 10,
right?
Because nothing good happens, and people were getting store owners were getting killed. But I remember there was a lot of 24-hour camera stores, all that kind of stuff.
Why you say it like that?
It wasn't a camera store. It was like a 24-hour film or something. But that didn't mean they were open for 24 hours, huh? That just meant you came back the next day.
So camera film store as in porn?
No, get your shit developed. But I don't think you can come in at 3 a.m. I think that means that's how long it took. Never mind. Just 24
CVS
hours.
And stuff, they did that. But they used to be, I thought, didn't CVS used to be 24 hours? Now they close at 10 or 11 o'clock.
I guess Walmart started closing too. Someone said I loved walking around Walmart at 2 a.m. The Walmartians were out in full force then. It's a great name.
I bet you could get some great content from people in Walmart at 2 o'clock in the morning.
And this one is sad. Okay, these last two. Toys and cereal boxes. We talk about the last time and we didn't know it. Last time you got a toy in the cereal box. Ah, man, that sucks.
Do they still do that? Or was it the not candy corn. The popcorn.
I know what you're talking about. Cracker Jack.
Cracker Jacks, yes.
They had lame-ass toys, though.
I used to love it.
But yeah, people, I guess they kept stealing them. People kept stealing them, and now it's done.
Way to go.
They said color-changing spoons. I remember that. Monkey linking toys. I didn't really... From the Jungle Book. That's what really doesn't happen anymore. I don't see any collabs with movies for like Happy Meals or cereal.
Does
and
Wheaties
stuff.
still do athletes?
I think so, but who's eating Wheaties?
I don't know.
It's trash. And then ringtones. Everyone keeps their phone on silent.
Yeah.
I remember that was a whole thing when you had Soulja Boy or Every Day I'm Hustling. Yeah.
Those are good.
Good days.
I need to get back into setting my alarm clock with songs I like. That way.
I had I'm So Fly by Lloyd Banks. It was my favorite song, but I set it as my text message.
Oh, no.
And the whole song would play.
Oh, my God.
I quickly stopped liking it. I had to like stop listening to it. Now I'll probably like it a lot, but it'd be like, I'm so fly, I got money, and I'm like, damn it, I couldn't turn it off. And then they send another one, I'm so fly.
Oh, my God.
That's the BlackBerry days.
Dang. Yeah, like recording music on your voicemail.
Oh God, that was so lame.
Oh, so you never did it?
I have done it before.
I
but
definitely sat there with the thing.
Hey, what's up? This is Stephanie. Leave your name and number, and then you put it to it. And it was like,
Hello?
touch, boom, 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 touch.
I'm like, hello.
I did that.
Hello.
I definitely did the trolling one.
Gotcha.
Just kidding.
You thought
I
it
ain't
was me.
Piss people off.
Hell yeah. All right. So you ready for some funny stories?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's the brokest you've ever been?
Okay.
Phew. Moved to Atlanta, worked at McDonald's, lights off for a $700 bill, so my neighbor let me run an extension cord at night from his house for power for a month until I was able to pay the bill.
Damn.
Now I'm able to pay all the bills up for a year.
A month is one bill. So I know people just do that like indefinitely.
Right.
So at least he got it back.
That was nice of them, though.
Super
but
nice.
to run a cord from your neighbor's house,
You got to get the cord and you got to come over here.
yeah, that's like crazy,
Right.
you know? I cashed in a scratch off worth $2 to put it in my gas tank. The gas attendant felt so bad for me, they put $10 in my tank. I burst into tears. I was going through it, but God, look at me now.
Damn.
For the gas station, you know the gas station attendants are cheap as hell. So
Right.
for them to be like,
And it wasn't even like, here, put $2 on. It was like, can I turn this in for $2 and then put that on the gas? They're like, take this 10. We don't even, this is expired.
you got to be down bad.
Man,
$2 ain't even a gallon.
that's crazy.
I lived in my car. I went to a hotel and ate the complimentary breakfast. I took bird baths in public bathrooms and truck stops. Oh, and I eventually got a gym membership to take showers there. I can go on, but all I can say is I don't look like what I went through. Someone special in the clouds never took his hands off me. I just saw a video of a lady who lives in her car, and she showed the whole process of everything that she has. Like, she has a different little compartments and organization for the clothes and hygiene and stuff in her trunk.
Mm-hmm.
And then she shows like the mattress and how she like puts everything down. It's interesting. Like, car life is really a thing for people.
You should look up Ron Taylor's series. He had he came down here from Detroit in a van and had a whole series, but he was making gourmet food out there.
Van life, right? That's what you said. Okay.
Or van cuisine. I forget what it's called. But,
okay. I would definitely watch that.
It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The lady from In Vogue, Dawn, she was the lead singer, right?
Uh-huh.
She just talked about enjoying car life. Like, she's lived in her car for 3 years.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I'm too claustrophobic.
Yeah, it's tough.
I've never had a good night's sleep in a car.
It's dangerous to me.
Oh, super.
Especially
Jordan's
for
dead?
a woman.
Yeah.
All it takes is the wrong nigga to look in your car. Because sometimes people, thieves, they be casing cars by like looking through the window.
And yeah, that's a big problem with homelessness with women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oof.
It's tough.
Yeah. I was 19 when my mom died. I became homeless and went from friend's house to friend's house trying to figure out life. I became an STNA and eventually went to LPN school. Blessed to report that I'm now a homeowner and an RN in APRN school.
What's with all these letters in her life?
Like, girl, come on. I never forget those lonely and cold nights waiting for the bus and working several part-time jobs to make it. Got it out the mud, and I can't stand to hear I can't or any excuses.
Them be the people who don't put up with no nonsense. Because it'd be the most.
The ones that really got it out the mud.
That's what I'm saying. Then they hear some people complaining. You're like, yeah, shut up.
All right. Kept 3 payday loans in rotation, stole toilet paper and sugar from work, and did quite a few other things I have since prayed over and in some cases apologized for. Even had a heart attack from the stress. Very thankful now that I understand the reason for that season.
Having a heart attack young is, man, you gotta
be really going
let
through
go
it.
of some of that stress. You got to. That's really
Still
sad.
is sugar from workers.
That's what I was thinking. Toilet paper, I understand.
Right.
Sugar is like, man, I need my fix.
Man, be thinking of your brokest thing you've ever done. Too.
I am. I already know.
Oh, I already know mine too. We've been through some shit. Kids were just getting out of school for the day, and I told my then girlfriend I was coming back with dinner in a few hours. Not having any money, I took our lawnmower and went to the white neighborhood, and anyone's lawn that looked like it needed some care cutting, I was asking for $10. I received $15, and it was enough for a family meal at KFC. I wasn't coming home without dinner, and I was told no by 20 plus people before one said yes. Yeah. All this nigga needed was $15, and 20 plus people said no to the lawn care.
But I mean, hey, you don't know what they're going through either. 20 no's for 15 is kind of crazy. But
yes.
I mean, those are probably homeless numbers, you know?
Hey, but that's when they say you do what you got to do.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they say that, like, person begging on the street at a hype corner is making a lot.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I would think, like, obviously the average person would be like, man, after the 5th no, you'd be like, damn, I'm trash, you know?
Yeah.
But they get 500 no's, 200 yeses, leaving with what some people make on a shift.
I'm leaving out of here with something. I used to steal baby formula. When I had my babies with me, I would scan 2 cans, not bag them, and walk out with a total of 6 to 8 cans. Same time, I would receipt surf in Walmart parking lots, find the item, and return it for store credit to buy food, diapers, and whatever my kids would need. A very, very depressing time. To scour the parking lot for receipts, go in, grab the item, and return it is insanity.
That's like
insanely smart.
That's a level of creativity I've never even heard.
Wow.
Of. That's insane. I don't have anything like this.
No. No.
They're blowing me out the water.
Yeah, mine's is not even
so
close.
It ain't like a drum roll.
Oh, here's mine. I'm going to have to think of another one. I would call out of work the day before payday because I couldn't afford to put gas in my car and didn't have enough in the tank. That was mine. Exactly.
That's tough because you're also losing money to do that.
Yep. But you gonna get your paycheck so that, you know, your direct deposit so that now you can make it to work for the next week. I got to think of a different one. This was exactly what I would have to figure out which day I was going to call out. So basically I would like figure out which day was the least important that I could call out. And like, okay, I have enough to get to work 4 out of the 5 days this week.
Damn. Damn.
I was so broke one time and couldn't pay my rent, so I ordered 2 TVs from Aaron's from the furthest location from me and sold it to pay my rent. The good thing about it is they never harassed me about it either.
That's epic.
Oh, because Aaron's, those are rental things. You have to be put on a payment plan for those. Like you can put down $30 on a TV and then you sell it. So he's saying he rented 2 TVs from Aaron's and then sold them for full price to pay his thing. But that would get you in trouble.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's
he
like
said they never harassed him about it.
That's like renting from Blockbuster and selling those.
Right, exactly. You could do that rent to own, you know, furniture and stuff like that. But that interest on that should be crazy. Needed to cook dinner for my daughter and myself. Had a negative bank account. Scraped up $4 in change from the car. Went to the 99-cent store and bought a pack of hot dogs, buns, and a Hormel can of chili. Already had some cheese at the house, so we had chili cheese
I
dogs.
was about to say that probably was bomb.
Hell yeah. Some of the broke meals be, especially when you desperate. A chili cheese dogs? Let me stop dancing to glizzy.
I mean, chili is probably one of the best broke foods, honestly. But you kind of need a lot of ingredients to make it like fire. But on a base level, you could still do that. I used to eat like a man-wich. That's terrible.
Ugh.
That is terrible.
I like plain hot dogs.
With no condiments?
No condiments.
Serial killer.
Maybe. No. I just like, if the bread quality is good, it don't even have to be that good. I ain't gonna lie. It could be the regular hot dog bun bread and a hot dog. That's it. I don't need no mayo. I don't need no mustard, no ketchup, no relish, no onions. I don't need nothing. I could just scarf that down. It's so good to me.
Man, that's tough. Those are some tough situations. I mean, I don't I don't have a lot of situations like that because even at my brokest, I was in college, 45 minutes away from my parents' house. So even when I didn't have money to eat, I can't, I could go home, So I was, shout out to my parents, I think a lot of the worst moments were just avoiding doing that to fend for myself. So I mean, the Campbell soup diet went crazy. Getting hella
Top
soup.
ramen.
Oh, I mean that too, but I was very particular to like soup.
Oh.
And I did that a lot until I found out that it was like the sodium could kill you.
Damn.
I was most of my food was specifically from Smart and Final. Giant bulk frozen food of just like horrible stuff.
Really bad.
And then the example that I actually had was the time I was living in my mom's garage, and I had to perform a heist with my friends for some nice clothes. My friend was a cashier at a little boutique.
Oh my God, Patrick!
We found out the security guards when they changed. Man, I went in there and got as much stuff as I could. He charged one shirt, went to the car. Next person came in, a whole bunch of stuff, charged the cheapest shirt they had. We left with like 4 trash bags of stuff.
Were you guys one of them people that would go into the dressing room, put on the clothes,
to make it seem? Of course, because when I had my 6th pair of jeans in my hands, he started. The inside man who we were friends with was getting tapped like, hey, watch him and stuff like that. So I had to go to the fitting rooms and blah blah and just kind of have that swag of like, I'm getting all of this. But I mean, it was my first and only heist, so I'm sure I look nervous.
Officer, him right there.
Got away like I heard the Ocean's 11 sound when we pulled out that parking garage. Fire.
I didn't know you had that in you. Rebel P.
Big heist. I'm not gonna name no names, but
Don't.
Next time you see him, we'll talk.
Okay, so I have one. One time, so you know how women, we could go out with no money and come back with money. So I intentionally went out with niggas I knew were going to the strip club because one of the more popular things to do was the girls that went with guys to the strip club, they would give us money to throw out to the girls. So if you go with a group of dudes.
So you kept it. Oh.
I would throw out, so if they gave
I hear those
me
stories a lot.
If they gave me $100, I'm throwing out 20.
I've kept stripper money.
But what do you mean kept it?
Like
you picked it up?
Like a birthday party.
You picked up the stripper money, Patrick?
No. A birthday party, like basically what you said, where people handed out money to have a good time.
Oh, really?
And I kept it. Yeah. I kept my own money. I remember I took out like hundreds of dollars, and I put them in the rubber band, And I was like, yeah, I'm throwing all of this. I still got it.
Damn.
I just took the whole thing home. But I looked like I was going to throw it the whole time. That's the key.
You said you still got it?
Mm-hmm. It's at my house.
How long ago was this?
Years.
Oh my God.
It survived multiple moves. But it was just cool to have. And I don't ever have cash on me, so if I needed like $5, I could just
Okay.
It shrunk a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's still a couple hundred.
But you pay like a fee on that money, so
Oh, on the ATM?
well, yeah, but to get ones you pay a fee. They'll give you 90 back or something. It's like 10%.
Oh, yeah, I think that happened.
But yeah, they used to give us a gang of money. And when I tell
What are we
you,
talking about? Like thousands?
I don't know. It wasn't thousands.
Hundreds?
Yeah, it was hundreds. But
Hundreds of ones
it would
looks
go
like a
in.
lot.
It would go in like rounds, So it would be, one group of girls would be dancing. They give you, some money, and you thought, And then you kind of you take like $3 and you try to make it look like more, or you try to time it when other people are throwing, so it look like, it was really pretty calculated move. But when I tell you,
throwing money up and it's not a lot, and watching them two bills fall down,
yeah,
it's humbling.
Yeah, you got to time it with other people's throws.
It's got to look like rain.
Yeah, because when niggas get excited, you can even throw your hands up and not throw nothing if you time it right.
That is the brokest thing that you've ever done. Just going like that so it looked like you have your hand up the longest, like a layup. I threw some of that.
Don't let the nigga right next to me be throwing money.
And then if you don't have a lot, you budget. So you're not just gonna be like, you see niggas that just grabbing handfuls.
Right.
You throw 3. That shit that's like making it leak.
I done caught it with my thighs, like.
Wow.
And then it landed on my lap.
I've rethrown my money a couple times, throw it again. But then that moment where you out.
When it landed on my lap.
That moment that you out and you don't got no more, you're just like, and now they're looking at you like, is that everything? All right. Well, that's it.
Bye.
There's no reason. I'm not going to stick around in case you get some more.
Yeah. So I definitely, when I was low, that was the only time I did that, when I was low on cash, and they'd be like, let's go out to the club. And then I'm the one like, y'all trying to go to Butt afterwards?
Butt?
No, whatever the name of the strip club is different. Butt is crazy.
Butt is a fantastic stripper name. I'm about to go to Butt. It's only 8 a.m. Yeah, I'm about to just go to Butt.
But yeah, I would just be like, let's go to, whatever it is. King of Diamonds, Queen of Diamonds. I don't know. Whatever.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean.
They be like, here. You got to know what squad to go out with, because some niggas is hella cheap. You can waste your time. I've been disappointed before where I was like, nigga, what are we doing here? There's a whole bunch of females. You got a whole bunch of females with you. Like, nigga, you thought we was going to throw our money? Bro.
I couldn't imagine going to a strip club and just handing out money for other people to throw. That's wild.
Yeah, they like to watch that.
I'm not a strip club person.
I haven't been to a strip club in years.
Broke stories build character.
Yeah, for sure.
Broke stories build character. I mean, like I said before, I mean, being so close to home for so long, I never realized how lucky that was. Because I was comparing broke stories with people who packed up and left their city and it was just them. And I was like, this isn't the same. Having no food and being able to drive somewhere where somebody's like, oh yeah, I got you, is completely different than having no safety line. So,
right.
Again, shout out to the people who stay near home. Yep. Stay near the nest.
Lucky some of us.
All right. Well, that has been another episode of Thick Threads. We hope you enjoyed it. Shout out to our Patreons. We're still live. Obviously, you guys are getting this weeks and weeks in advance now. Yeah. So if you guys want to hang out with us on set and just through our day, sign up for the Patreon.
Yeah, because we will be doing the same thing tomorrow.
This is fun.
Yeah.
This is fun. I like it. I like hanging out with the thread heads.
Mm-hmm.
But as always, I've been Patrick Cloud.
Number 7.
We will see y'all next week.
Bye.